This is Amy Chan from CakeDecoratingSchool.com, and if you like cake decorating, you're in the right place. Welcome to our flowers series. In this video, we're going to be piping buttercream calla lilies. It's broken down into steps so you can skip ahead, rewind, and rewatch as desired. We're going to use two colors for our calla lilies, and the first one is just going to be white. So we have some of our buttercream in the bowl, and you can see it's a nice ivory off-white color, so we're just going to leave it as is. And our other color is going to be the green that we'll use for our spadix and our stems. So for our green, I've just got a little bit of that extra buttercream in our bowl. We're using our American style, and we're going to use 3 liquid gel colors to make our green. Some royal blue, lemon yellow, and finally, just a little bit of coal black. And I've got a little of each out on a lid. I'm just going to use some toothpicks just to give myself a nice light green color that I'm going to use for the centers and the stems on my lilies. So a couple of drops, just a little couple of specks of both blue and yellow, and then just one tiny one of that black. Just want it to be a little bit of a low chroma shade. And I like where this is going. It's got a bit of a sagey feel. I just want to add, I think, a touch more yellow to it. There we go. I think that's going to be a nice green for both our centers and our stems. We're going to use 2 12-inch decorating bags. Mine are disposable. You can use whatever you want. We've got one with our green loaded up, and we have it fitted directly with a number 3 tip. And we have our white in a bag with a 125. So this one is one of those large, oversized petal tips. Nice, straight opening. So let's talk about the techniques that we're going to use for our calla lilies. We're going to use our 125 tip to make the petal, and we're going to do kind of a fan that morphs into an S curve. So we're going to take the outside edge of the petal, draw a nice big fan shape, go up to a point at the top if we can, and then we're going to curve it back, fold it over, and down around on itself. And honestly, the top of it kind of reminds me a little bit of a burrito that's been rolled up but is left open at the top. So maybe more of like a fajita wrap or something like that. But that's just kind of what I imagine while I'm doing it to kind of help guide myself. And we'll show you how to do that actually on the flower nail because it's just a little awkward to do on the tray. The next thing we're going to do is pipe the spadix, and that's going to go in the middle of the petal we created, and we're going to do a fat line and cover it with dots. And we're using our number 3 tip. So the line that we create doesn't need to be a perfect smooth line because we're going to cover it all up. So just think about drawing a nice fat, squeeze really nice and long line in the middle. And then we're just going to do dots on top of it. So nice tiny little dots. That's why we're using our 3 tip. For the stem, there's going to be a little gap formed by the petal, and we're going to help fill in the eye and make our flowers look correct by adding the little stem on it. And for this, we want to do teardrop shapes. So we want to allow that frosting to balloon up nice and big and then pull quickly while we're still piping. And that's going to give us a nice little teardrop shape for the stem. It's going to fill in the void that we have. And we're going to combo all these things together to make our beautiful flowers. So let's talk about how we combine those techniques together. The first thing we're going to do on our flower nail is draw that S-curve fan, and that's going to give us our big petal there. We're going to go in the middle and add that spadix. So we're going to do the line first and then cover the whole thing with dots. You can always turn the flower around when you're doing that, so it's easy to come at the back side of it and really get in there and kind of nestle those dots in down by the base so that it looks beautiful and like it's flowing out of the center of the flower, and we kind of help to create that illusion. And then for our third step, we're just going to add a stem down at the bottom. You'll notice when I pull the tip over, it's going to leave kind of a void over on this side, and we're going to create the illusion of that nice trumpet-shaped flower by adding the stem in there at the bottom. So let's start piping our calla lilies. We've talked a little bit about how we're going to do it, and now we're going to put that to practice. We've got our bag of white frosting. It has our 125 tip on it, and I'm going to start, the back of the bag is pointing away. I'm going to be right against the surface, and I'm going to pipe a fan shape, and I'm going to try and kind of do a nice soft arc and come to a little bit of a point. And once I do that, I'm going to rotate my bag. So nice and slow, draw up to a point, and then I'm going to fold back over, flip the bag, and pull down. And you can see that gives me that nice folded over shape there, and we've got that little bit of a void there for our stem. So I'm going to turn myself around so that the little fold is facing myself, right? Because when we pipe, it's going that way. And this is going to make it easy to then draw my nice little line and cover it with dots. So just take your time, really get in there. You can see I can angle it so that I can really get really close to that white. And fill it in. And then we're going to start right up here, up at the top, kind of where your eye wants to go. You see, we want to make a nice trumpet shape like that. So we want to start right there where it looks like there should be white and it's missing, and draw that nice teardrop shape. And that's going to give us the illusion that there is petal there, right? Like it's the back of the stem. And that gives us a nice, beautiful buttercream calla lily. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like more about the cake decorating materials and equipment we use, or just some inspirational videos about cake decorating itself, you can follow us on Insta or YouTube at Cake Decorating School. If you'd like to know more about yearly membership and what it entails, you can go to www.cakedecoratingschool.com for more information. And if you're interested in these products, you can check the links in the description.